Welcome to the shadows where every whisper has a story and every silence hides a scream. You're watching Midnight Scares, the place where real horror lives, breathes, and waits. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones. It's time for a true horror story. It was past midnight when I pulled off the highway, the storm riding close behind me like something alive. My fuel gauge blinked red, and the nearest gas station was a flickering oasis in the night. Joe's Stop and Go, its faded sign buzzed weakly in the rain. The structure looked like it hadn't seen a renovation since the 80s. A lonely building with rust-streaked metal siding, barely clinging to its own bones. Only one pump was working. I parked under the flickering canopy and stepped out. The rain was cold and needling. The smell of damp concrete and gasoline filled the air, thick and heavy. Something about the silence unsettled me. No passing cars, no music, not even insects chirping in the dark. The only sound was the soft hum of the overhead lights and the dull clunk of the pump starting. Inside the convenience store, an old man stood behind the counter, eyes glassy and unmoving. He didn't greet me, just stood there watching. His name tag was flipped upside down. I nodded and gave him a polite smile, then grabbed coffee and a protein bar from the shelf. When I paid, his hands were ice cold. "You heading west?" he asked, voice low and broken. "Yeah, home." He paused, staring through me like glass. "Don't stay too long. Things come through here after midnight. Things that shouldn't." I laughed nervously. "What kind of things?" But he didn't answer. He just turned and walked into the back, door swinging behind him. I stepped back out into the wet night and noticed the pump had stopped. Odd, I had barely put in a few gallons. I checked the handle. The screen read, "Paid in full. Thank you, Elias." My name wasn't Elias. I stared at the display. The pump hissed, then a slow drip, drip, drip began, like something thick leaking inside. I leaned closer and caught a scent, not gas, but iron, blood. Suddenly, the lights above me flickered once, then went out completely. The entire station was swallowed in pitch black. I froze. The darkness felt wrong. Too thick, too alive. I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. That's when I saw her. A little girl stood by the far pump, soaked in rain, long dark hair plastered to her pale face. She wore a white nightgown. Her bare feet were stained with oil and something darker. Her eyes were wide, empty, voids completely black. "Daddy?" she whispered, almost too faint to hear. "Don't leave me here again." I took a step back, my breath catching in my throat. "Mia?" She stepped forward. No, that's not." I backed toward the car. Then in the beam of my flashlight, I saw something behind her, shadowed figures emerging from the tree line at the edge of the property. Dozens of them. Tall, stretched things with limbs too long, heads cocked to unnatural angles, skin like burnt paper. Silent. Watching. I scrambled into the car and slammed the door. I didn't even bother with my seatbelt. I twisted the key. Nothing. The radio buzzed to life with a screech of static. "You left us, Elias." My blood froze. That voice, it was mine. A recording of me from years ago, panicked and angry. "I'm sorry, I had no choice. I had to leave. I had to." Then came screaming, children screaming, drowning, fire, something wet. I yanked the radio from the dash and threw it on the passenger seat. The car finally roared to life. I slammed it into gear. As I sped off down the highway, I didn't dare look in the mirror. But I heard her again, behind me, closer this time, breathing. "Daddy, You promised you'd come back. I hit 90, swerving around bends, headlights slicing through the dark. Every time I blinked, her image burned behind my eyelids. Wet hair, empty eyes, skin too pale. The highway seemed endless. My GPS flickered uselessly. No signs, no exits. Then something impossible happened. The same gas station appeared ahead of me again. Joe's Stop and Go, lights buzzing weakly, single pump swaying in the wind. I screamed, veering off the road. The car fishtailed and slammed into a ditch. I crawled out, dazed and bleeding, the forest hissing around me. That's when I saw them, all of them, dozens of children, soaked, hollow-eyed, emerging from the trees. Behind them, flickering in and out of shadow, stood the figures, tall and twisted, their mouths stitched shut. They didn't move like people. They twitched, like puppets pulled by tangled strings. A voice echoed, deep and layered. You left them behind. Now they leave with you. One by one, the children turned toward me and smiled. Their mouths opened wide, too wide, unhinging into voids of shadow and rot. The little girl stepped forward and took my hand. It was ice cold, and yet I couldn't pull away. I'm tired now, she whispered. We're going home. The darkness surged. I screamed. They found my car days later, deep in the woods. Empty. Driver's seat soaked in blood. GPS fried. But they never found me. Not really. Though sometimes when the highway is quiet and the air turns cold, a lone car pulls into that forgotten gas station, and the lights flicker back on, just in time for the next driver to stop. If you're still here, congratulations. Not everyone makes it to the end. If you felt the chills, hit that like button. If you've survived something unexplainable, tell your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just be about you. Until next time, sleep tight.